In this report, Chung and Dan discuss which village some of you may be able to retire early on $893 a month in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. First, I share our estimated cost of living in our 3 favorite villages. Then Chung and I discuss our favorite villages to stay in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. And then I go over my retirement livability factors, such as walkability, food, social considerations, things to do, weather, and real estate. The last few weeks, I've done a series of videos about retiring at one of the most beautiful lakes in the world, Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. Links provided. Okay, here's my estimated cost of living for my 3 favorite villages on Lake Atitlan, San Pedro, San Marcos, and Pana. I've previously shared my cost of living in a resort that included all the amenities like stand-up paddleboard, hot tub, sauna, kayaking, etc. But today I want to share my estimated cost of living for a less expensive lifestyle. Here's a table that covers costs for all 3 villages: San Pedro, the party village; San Marcos, the hippie village; and Pana, the foreign retiree village. But you can live in the hippie or the party village even if you are a retiree. In fact, if you think about it, people that first called themselves hippies or partiers are all well into their retirement years. And hippie is a state of mind you can maintain throughout life, no matter your age. Okay, here are my estimated costs of living for all 3. There's a table on the webpage. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video where it says more information, and you'll see all these numbers. We'll start with San Pedro because it's the cheapest. You can get a 1-bedroom apartment there, like a 2nd floor of someone's house or around the back of their house or something, or small apartment buildings for around $350 US per month. They're starting for that. They can go up from there, but your electricity, this is San Pedro, your electricity would be $20. Internet is about $30 a month for propane, $13 to recharge your cell phone every month. You would spend about $250 in groceries. You could do it cheaper than that if you had to, but $100 in restaurants, $20 in street food per month, $40 in laundry, and $20 for bottled water. That all adds up to $893 a month. There's as a recurring expense. I didn't include alcohol in that because some of you don't drink. Add another $100 to that for alcohol. To live in San Pedro would be $993 per month. Okay, next up, San Marcos. San Marcos is a little more in rent. And so you're looking at about $450, but all the other numbers are about the same. And so you're adding about another 100 to the total. So instead of $893, it's $993 per month in San Marcos. That's the hippie village. Add 100 for alcohol, and you're at $1,093 a month. And then last up, the most expensive is Pana. You might find something less from 600, but it's not that easy. There's a lot of competition there. So it's starting around 600 for a 1-bedroom on up. So it's kind of expensive there because there's a lot of foreign money chasing the smaller units, people that just want to retire and have a simple place to live. Again, the electric, the internet, all that other stuff's about the same. And so the total to live in Pana is about $1,193 per month. If you add alcohol, you're at $1,293 per month. The above cost of living for 2 people is just an estimate. For full understanding what it will cost you to live there, visit Numbeo and add anything you spend money on in your home country that's not mentioned in the table. Our cost of living are generally much lower than a new traveler because we are great bargain hunters, but there are people that live much cheaper than we do if you think our numbers sound high. Never move anywhere until you have visited first personally to verify the living costs for your lifestyle and needs. I'm not guaranteeing these prices. These are just my notes and estimates from the time of my visit and this post. Your costs will likely be drastically different depending on your lifestyle and the time since this post. Okay, which Lake Atitlan village is right for you? This is Dan of 𝗥𝗲𝗢𝗡𝗢.
𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗡 from 𝗂𝗢𝗡𝗢.
And we're going to tell you each of the villages we visited and give you a short description, and then we'll tell you which our first, second, and third are, where we would retire if we wanted to move there. Okay, the first village we visited is called San Pedro, and it's they call it a party village, although it does have a small village behind it where a lot of the locals live, and so it has both an expat feel to it and a local feel to it.
And the food is very good over there and cheap.
Good point. The second village we went to is called San Juan. Very few expats there, but a lot of artists there, and chocolate and beautiful hiking.
It's just 10 minutes by the tuk-tuk to go to San Juan, or you buy the water taxi to go to San Juan's.
Yeah, take the water taxi. The tuk-tuk is kind of dusty. The third village we visited is called Santiago. It's the largest village around Lake Atitlan, and it's almost all local people, the Mayan people there. There's very few expats there. But it is a very interesting place because no one's paying attention to you. They're living their lives, so you get to see what Mayans really live like. And
they have a very good the coconut ice cream coated with the chocolate. It's just from the random lady who's selling us the thing.
Yeah. The fourth place we visited is called Santa Cruz, and it's a very small island or village, and it's way up on the hill, but along the waterfront there's a bunch of large homes and really cool resorts.
Most of people, they own their home just lakefront homes. It's almost that size. So our Airbnb is one of them. Do you know the next door hotel is $300 per night? So I found a good choice.
Yeah, so that's kind of a wealthy area of the lake. Yeah. The fifth island we visited is called San Marcos, and it's the hippie spiritual village where they have yoga and meditation, vegan food, and that kind of thing.
Food is quite expensive over there because that village is mostly the European over there. Yes, they have a better food, but the food is slightly expensive than San Pedro.
Yeah. The sixth village we visited is called Pana, and it's what we call the retirement or expat village, although there's a lot of local Mayans living there. That's where we saw the most expats, older, that are retired.
They have a good food, especially the fried chicken is Guatemala, Kentucky fried chicken.
While you're in Pana, there's two other villages you can visit. Not many expats live there. Mostly people just go there on day trips. The first one's called Santa Catalina.
Catalina, yes.
And the second one's called San Antonio. We went to both of them. Santa Catalina is like a very colorful village. All the buildings are different colors. And San Antonio is a pottery and waterfront village. They're both waterfront, actually.
Yeah, and so from Pana to go to these two towns is like 10 minutes to each town, I think. 10 or 15 minutes to each town. We take the tuk-tuk. These two towns is very, very local. Not much foreigner over there, and hardly to see foreigner. Mostly is a day trip visitor, that's all.
Okay, that's all the villages we visited around Lake Atitlan. And now we're going to tell you where we would retire, or our favorite place to be on the lake. And do you want to start?
No.
No? Okay. My favorite place to be around the Lake Atitlan would be, so my number one video would probably be San Pedro, because there's more food choices there, and it just felt like it had both worlds. It was a nice mix of both worlds, of both locals and expats, and had a nice village behind where for shopping, and it just felt right to me. What's your number one?
My number one place that I want to stay, not number one video. My number one place is Santa Cruz, which is the Airbnb that I found, because I like that one is have my own lake front view. I can sit over there, have my breakfast or have a wine, you know. I have my privacy, which is, I love this very much.
Yeah, and we'll put a link to that also, so you'll see it. So my number 2 would be where Chung Hoi's number 1 place, because not only are you lakefront, and you have a fully equipped kitchen and everything, but you also have paddleboarding, kayaking, and a hot tub, and there's even water skiing there. So,
yeah.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is San Pedro, which is your number 1. They have a good food. There's a party towns. I don't think I'm able to rent lakefront apartments in the San Pedro. So maybe I can rent, like, have a little gardens, you know. But because it's inland. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the village itself is right on the water, but the rentals that we talk about for $350 would be inland a little bit, 3-4 blocks.
Yes.
My number 3 would be San Marcos, the hippie village, because of all the great food and meditation and yoga. It would be a fun place to be, even though it's a little more expensive food-wise.
My number 3 is Panahasa, because I cannot live without the Kentucky Fried Chicken, even it's Guatemala stuff. It's very crispy though.
All right, next we'll talk about livability factors around Lake Atitlan. Thanks for watching, and we'll continue. All right, now that you know which village is right for you, let me talk about Lake Atitlan livability factors. Here are some of the factors I think about when I consider each place for retirement potential. After I discuss each factor, I'll assign an overall desirability score to Lake Atitlan. Walkability, high. If I were to live at any of my 3 favorite villages around Lake Atitlan, I would be able to walk to restaurants, small fruit and vegetable markets, all without an automobile. So I wouldn't need a car, everything's walkable. If you have too many groceries to walk home, you could get a tuk-tuk for about 5 𝐂𝐒, which is about 65 cents. So I would not need a car. If I bought a vehicle, it would probably be a dirt bike to enjoy some of the dirt trails around most of these villages, or even just between the villages. Internet, medium. We had very few issues with our internet speeds. It did take a little longer to upload YouTube videos, but other than that, it seemed about normal. We're running about 10 megabits per second down, 6 megabits per second upload speeds. If a certain internet speed is required for your business, I suggest reading my process for finding the perfect apartment, which fulfills all your needs, link provided. Okay, food, medium. Only Pana, San Pedro, and San Marcos have many foreign food choices to speak of. We found their food choices to be delicious overall, but as much as triple what it costs to eat in a locals restaurant or the food carts around the market areas. So if you're a fan of foreign foods, I would rate the food as medium or even low here, just because the pricing's a little high and there's not a great many choices. But for towns these sizes, you're in pretty good shape. Okay, so I'm calling it medium. Okay, weather. Weather is high. That's as high as it gets. Lake Atitlan has near perfect weather year-round. Most people neither heat nor cool their homes. There are just 2 seasons in Lake Atitlan, really, sunny or rainy. But the temperatures are fairly stable year-round. The cooler season is November through March, when the nighttime lows average in the low 50s Fahrenheit, which is about 10 Celsius. And the daytime highs average about 80 Fahrenheit, which is 27 Celsius, and that's in the cooler season. The warmer season is April through October, when nighttime lows average about 62 Fahrenheit or 17 Celsius, and daytime highs average in the low 80s or about 27 Celsius. The rainy season is May through October, with most of the rain falling in the month of June and the month of September. Okay, things to do. I would say medium. Hiking, swimming, kayaking, dirt bike riding, learning Spanish, cooking, yoga, meditation, village hopping, church, partying, restaurants, gyms, cycling, fishing, painting, writing. If you're an outdoorsy or a lake person, you'll not run out of things to do. But if the lake is something you only typically do for long weekends away from a more urban life, you may get bored eventually. Okay, social considerations. I would say medium. This is why knowing which village will fit your personality best is so important. If you're a hippie or a closet hippie, you'll find lots of fun things to do in San Marcos. If you love to socialize, make friends, and party, then you'll have fun in San Pedro. If you're a retiree looking for retiree expats to hang out with, Pana may be your place. If you're more reclusive in nature, any of the villages would probably work for you. I suggest you visit them all before making a final decision. Expats, medium. There are about 10,000 members of the Living in Guatemala Facebook page for expats. Link provided. So if you're hanging out with, if you like hanging out with expats, you should be able to locate expat activities in Guatemala. Plus, you'll just see expats as you walk around. All but one or two have a big smile on their faces and have been very willing to share their story with us that we've met. Okay, real estate. I never recommend buying outside your home country until you've lived somewhere at least 3 years. People have a tendency to fall in love with a place and they get bored after 6 months to a year, and they might want to move around a little before they found their perfect place. So read this link I have provided to better understand why I don't recommend buying outside your home country. There's many reasons in that report and you can assimilate them. Okay, Lake Atitlan, desirability score. I would say high if you're a mountain or a lake person. I doubt you'll find a more beautiful mountain hideaway for so little money anywhere in the world. But medium if you are more of a cultural explorer like me. We next head to one of my favorite colonial era towns in the world, Antigua, Guatemala. Subscribe now and hit the notifications bell so you'll see that video when it's posted. Thanks for reviewing our content. Retire early on $8.93 a month in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. Make sure to grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 14 Years. And please subscribe to Vagabond Buddha or our YouTube channel to watch us move around the world, 65 countries so far. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for vagabondbuddha.com. Thanks for stopping by. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner? Hey, if you liked our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our video. Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.